Are you looking for the best rice cookers? In this video we will look at some of the 6 best rice cookers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Aroma Digital Rice and Grain Multicooker 4 cups. For a particularly low-key model that gets the job done, the Aroma is a great bet. In my own testing, I found the simplicity of the machine wasn't only good enough but a plus. While I do appreciate the more targeted settings of the Zojirushi, this one was more intuitive to use initially and has only a few very clear settings. Each time, it has yielded fluffy, perfectly cooked grains, no matter if I'm making long grain white, short grain white, or brown rice. And the keep warm setting works well. Once, I let a batch sit for a full hour before I ate and it was still moist but not overcooked. Recipe developer and cookbook author Abi Balingit expresses a similar sentiment. It's very straightforward to use, she says, basically dummy-proof. The cost was part of the initial appeal, Balingit says, but she's been using hers for 5 years with consistent results every time. She also appreciates the compact size that fits in the small space above her kitchen cabinets. Still, I'll note, it fits plenty. I made rice in it for a dinner party of 5 people and had leftovers. And Chef Justin Lee is a fan, too. For home use, I think a cheap and simple one is really all you need, he says. Overall, it's just easier than using a pot, or at least you don't have to watch it as much. It gets the job done totally fine. And sure, there's something about the way the Zojirushi is constructed that makes it superior. But at the end of the day, we're not making sushi rice. This is just us cooking rice at home so we can feed ourselves and our family. For that, he maintains, it's perfect. Number 2. Imusa Electric Nonstick Rice Cooker, 3 cups. The Imusa literally couldn't be easier to use, it's almost toy-like. To turn it on, you just plug it in. Otherwise, it operates with a single tab you switch down to cook and up to keep warm. This latter setting is its default when plugged in, and it reverts back to it the moment a batch is finished. To turn it off, you unplug. In my testing, I found the machine produces nicely textured short and long grain white rice, plump and hydrated but not mushy. I will note that though I haven't tried it with brown rice yet, some reviews say this doesn't work as well because a lot of water collects in the lid, so I might not opt for this model if you plan to make longer cooking varieties. I like the clear lid. It doesn't actually do anything, but there's something satisfying about being able to peek inside. Recipe developer and writer Justine Dwarin loves her Imusa because of its simplicity and because of its reliability. She first bought it about 8 years ago at Target because it was the cheapest one she could find. Despite the notably low price, the machine has proved to be incredibly durable and has never done me wrong, she says. When a cooking appliance is only meant for one use, you don't need the fanciest model. Number 3. Pars Automatic Persian Rice Cooker, 3 cups. The Pars Persian rice cooker is built to do something particular and different from all the others on this list, make flawless tadig. Tadig is the ubiquitous crispy layer of rice at the bottom, and top, when you turn it over, of many preparations of Persian rice dishes. It is also notoriously difficult to master. The goal is to end up with fluffy, separate grains of basmati underneath that crust, which must be evenly crunchy and beautifully golden brown. I'm an avid home cook, but rice was always tough for me, and that's part of why for a while I avoided cooking a lot of Persian food, says writer Arya Roshanian, who chronicled his foray into using the Pars for Vox last year. Funnily enough, his mom and grandmother both used one, and it was during the pandemic that he finally decided it was time to get one himself. In fact, he has 2 now, the smaller 4-cup he started out with, and a larger 7-cup he uses to make tadig for a crowd. It's user-friendly, he says, something that my 85-year-old grandma who only speaks Farsi and isn't that good at technology can figure out. The first time I used it I was thinking I would need to try a few times in order to get it right, but it came out pretty perfectly, and then each subsequent time, too. It regulates temperature so it never burns. The insert is lightweight, which is nice for turning over. I still oil the bottom a bit because tadig needs to be a little fried, but everything is non-stick so it's super easy to flip out and to clean. Number 4. Cuckoo HP Pressure Rice Cooker CRPP 1009S 10 cups. Cuckoo rice cookers are the most common ones you'll see in Korean households. I bought one because that's what my mom and aunts use, says Joanne Lee Molinaro, better known as the Korean vegan. When you go to the Korean grocery store, you see a bunch of Cuckoos all over the place. Molinaro uses hers, a slightly older but similar model to the one listed, primarily for brown rice, which she and her husband eat most, as well as mixed rice, the setting for which she uses every time she combines grains. With Korean rice, a lot of times it's not just rice, she says, explaining additives like soybeans, farro, pearl barley, and even chestnuts and sweet potatoes are fairly common. For food writer Justine Lee, who has the more recent model, the multi-cook setting is where it stuns. Multi-cook essentially turns the appliance into a pressure cooker and allows you to adjust the time and heat level. Both are as easy as dialing the knob to set, Lee says. It's how I steam a bunch of Korean sweet potatoes right before road trips and quell my bean hankerings come summertime. I've even followed recipes fitted for a traditional instant pot such as cinnamon buns and yakbap, which can get sticky. But cleanup with this rice cooker is a breeze across the board. Number 5. Instant Pot Duo Multi-Use Pressure Cooker, 6 quarts. It's no secret that the Instant Pot can do a lot. But strategist senior editor Jen Trolio primarily uses hers for rice, making it for her family of 4 at least once a week. She takes a stainless steel mixing bowl, fills it with equal parts water and rice, and sets it inside the Instant Pot on top of the wire rack the unit comes with. Then she puts a ½ inch or so of water at the bottom of the larger container, not covering the top of the rack. She cooks on high pressure for 4 minutes, then does the slow release for about 10 minutes, with a manual release if there's any pressure remaining at the end. With a little fluff, it's ready to go. It's nice to have the nearly set it and forget it convenience of a rice cooker that is also multi-purpose for pressure cooking, slow cooking, and so on, Trulio says. Obviously we could still do rice on the stove, but on top of the convenience, the Instant Pot can be shoved to the edge of the counter and not take up a burner. Pressure cook, slow cook, saute, steam, make rice, yogurt, or simply keep your meal warm all in one appliance. Tackle every recipe with 13 one-touch options, from hearty soups to decadent cakes. Number 6. KitchenAid Grain and Rice Cooker 8 cups. This KitchenAid cooker not only turns out perfectly cooked rice but also makes it easy to cook other types of grains and beans to the ideal consistency every time. It was a recent find for strategist contributor Kiki Aranita and one she was surprised to love as much as she does. She already owns several dedicated rice cookers in various sizes and has still found this a useful addition to her kitchen, high praise. Aranita's first test was a long-grain brown jasmine variety that turned out just right, she says. The cooker features ultra-specific settings for 21 various types of grains and beans. While I haven't used it, these seem great to me. The Zojirushi I have will cook non-short grain rice well, but it takes a bit of googling and some trial and error to figure out exactly how to do so properly. Aranita says she hasn't soaked beans independently of the cooker since she got it, and every batch has come out at the ideal level of doneness, nary an overcooked, broken bean in sight. And she calls it absolute magic with quinoa. You never have to think about the water level in the tank because it dispenses exactly what's needed based on your selected setting. You can let it know if you've rinsed or not, and it takes that into account. You can also tell it if you add your own liquid, like a stock, so that it knows not to dispense any water at all.